You can make the impossible possible. And he did the most amazing trick of all. He made his wheelchair vanish. Why, hello there. My name is TJ Schimmeld. I'm one of the founders and president of vanishingwheelchair.org. Here today to describe a little bit of why we at the Vanishing Wheelchair say that the impossible is possible. A lot of that comes about from our co-founder, Ricky D. Boone. Now, Ricky was born with a rare bone disorder called Morgani's syndrome, which put basically bones in places in his body where there shouldn't be, and he's missing bones in other places. So he's had to really adapt from the very beginning. And speaking of making the impossible possible, the doctors first told Ricky's mother that he would never survive birth, and if he did, he'd never live past the age of 4. Well, Ricky, being the magical person he is, just celebrated on January 13th in 2021, 61 years on this planet. 61 years. That is magic in and of itself. But Ricky, because of this rare disorder he's had to live life differently. And the first time I ever met Ricky, he was at his magic shop in Magic Central. And what's amazing of Magic Central, when you walk in, I saw him sitting there behind the counter, and he looks very much, as a dear friend of his, Harry Anderson, used to say, he looked like a ventriloquist dummy, just set up there in a wheelchair behind the counter. And I was a little taken aback, and I turned to the right, and I saw all these awards from the magic world, all earned by Ricky Boone. And then I saw these posters of all these famous magicians and even singers like Cyndi Lauper, all signed to Ricky Boone. And I thought, well, I need to meet this Ricky Boone. And figuring the little guy behind the counter was just sitting there watching the shop while the owner was away. And to my surprise, when he raised his hand in the only way he could to shake my hand, and he said, "Hi, I'm Ricky Boone." Well, little did I know that my world would change in that moment when I met him. And he performed a little bit of magic for me. He showed me first a piece of wood and asked what it was. And I said, well, it's a piece of wood. And he says, well, you're from up north. We're down here in the south now in Asheville, North Carolina. He says, we call this a stick. And then he went in to a routine that we're going to show you now. That is his own invention. Easy as 1, 2, 3.
This is one of the things that I made 20 years ago, and I won all the rewards with it. Let me show you the newest version. Okay, what I have here is I have a stick. Should a stick on both sides, just like that. Now I'm going to take the stick and we'll run it through my hand, just like this. And look, there's a diamond. Wow. So that there's a diamond on that side. Turn it over, now there's a diamond on this side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one and turn it in for end, and the diamond appears on both ends. So that there's 2 here. I'll turn it over, and now there's 2 here. Now I'm going to take it and just run it through my hand, just like this. Now there's 3. So that there's 3 here, and now there's 3 here. But now if I just take my thumb and lay it right there, pull back slowly, I can erase 2 of those diamonds and show my hand is empty. There's 1 diamond on this side, 3 diamonds on that side, and that way I can hand it out for examination because nothing pivots, nothing moves. That's called easy as 1, 2, 3.
This was the beginning for me and Ricky D. Boone. After I saw him perform not only this impressive piece of magic, but I was impressed at his skill of amusing people and really drawing you in and learning about him as a person. And I don't know, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours may have passed. And he did the most amazing trick of all. He made his wheelchair vanish. Now, of course, because of the syndrome he has, he still needs his wheelchair to get around, but I no longer saw the wheelchair. I saw Ricky for Ricky. He made the impossible possible. He made that wheelchair vanish from my thoughts. And that is the key, hence our name as a nonprofit, the Vanishing Wheelchair, because we want people to look away from the disability more towards the ability. And what better as a magician who can do something that most people cannot, to inspire that all things are possible. And because when Ricky was growing up and he got interested in magic in elementary school, when his principal actually showed him some card tricks and magic tricks and challenged him to come back with some magic himself. Well, Ricky was, very good at research. He looked at the library, got books, and he would learn the standards of magic. One being the what's called the French drop, making a coin disappear. Well, his hands, the way his body structure is, he can't hold his hands to hold a coin upwards like most magicians do, and he can't do the vanishes as most people can. And he thought, as a child, that he was cheating. But in fact, his vanish has fooled many magicians. Let's take a look.
Being disabled in the magic world, there's a lot of things that I've had to recreate. This is my version of, I can't say it, it's a secret. But it's my version of the French drop. Watch. Just like that. You can show the back of the hand. You can show the ball of the hand. Come around here. Show the ball. Show the back. And come back. I'll reproduce it. Okay. This is my version. Don't tell anybody of the retention vanish, because I can't do it the normal way. Watch. Just like that. But don't tell anybody. All right? I appreciate it.
Well, you see how Ricky has inspired me, how he made that wheelchair vanish, and it was my great honor to actually be his biographer, and wrote The 4-Foot Giant and the Vanishing Wheelchair. And this is what started our nonprofit, helping people with disabilities find their passion in life through discovering the arts and teaching them skills in the arts, eventually taking those skills, making it into a side business, and elevating them into a full-time position and a contributing member to society. And Ricky had found that his talent was magic. But what he didn't know is when he was doing his performances, and he does a lot of motivational speaking now and inspirational shows with the Vanishing Wheelchair and on his own, but he didn't realize from the very beginning, people said, Ricky, you have always been doing inspirational shows. You just didn't know it. Because people would watch him and watch a magician do something that most people cannot. And they would be inspired, thinking, well, if he can do that in his condition, well, I should be able to do anything. It's making the impossible possible. And you can do that as well. We all have that ability. Now, many of us have been sitting at home and, well, Ricky sits around all the time anyway, but he's got to, he's in the wheelchair. So he has always been creating. And being his biographer, I am one of the first people he will call at all hours of the day and even into the night and say, I've got to tell you this before I forget. Write this down. He has done so much creative thinking. And with our recent need to be staying at home more, when Ricky could not go into his magic shop, could not open that up to others, he created a stunning bit of magic with a deck of cards.
Well, it is going to be a dream. Alright, so I'm calling this a dream. What I have is an old deck of, I think these are Maverick cards. You can show like this. Like this. Now, my friend TJ is going to help me out. He's also the camera guy, so he's going to be my magic hands. TJ, if you'll cut the deck cards. Alright, now, what I want you to do, TJ, is touch the deck cards, the part of the cards you want to get rid of. That one? Okay. Okay, we'll get rid of it. Cut that card, cut that section of deck in two. Now, point to the one you want to keep. That one, okay, so I'll get rid of this. Okay, cut that deck in two. Okay, which part do you want to get rid of? That one. Alright. Now, take the cards that's remaining and take them and hold them in dealer position and make two piles out of them. Alright. Now, what I want you to do is point to a pile. Okay, we'll get rid of that one. Like that. I want to touch the card. Well, I will touch it. Point to the card you want to keep. That one. Alright. Now, reveal what card that is to the audience. This actually did come to me in a dream. I made a prediction, turn it over where I can look at it. Okay. I actually made a prediction before we started. But that would be the card you would select. That is called the dream, and it did come to me in a dream.
All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. And Ricky dreams big. He dreams high. He never felt that his disability was a limitation. In fact, he never really even thought he had a disability. He just knew he did things differently than a lot of people because he had to. And in fact, he was the very first person in his family to attend college. And after college, he got a wonderful job with a business. He was able to help his parents pay off their mortgage. And he used some of those funds to start his own business. At first, it was a photography business, morphed eventually into a magic shop. And he is now, Magic Central is one of the last remaining brick and mortar magic shops out there. And many people ask, well, how does he do it? And it really is the being that is Ricky. He sits in this shop and people find their way to him. And a lot of these people think that they're helping him. But fortunately, Ricky has a voice. And he has been led to use that voice for other people with disabilities. And finding that his creative mind and his way of doing things is a way that we can all be inspired. Join the journey with us. Subscribe to our channel, share, and we will see you in the next video.